Clairo.
Ooh.
But I think the thing about Clairo that I'll say is this is her thing. She's in. I was almost gonna say she's in that like indie rock girl zone, but I think that's a bit reductive, right? 'Cause she's a bit more Gen Z than probably the
Yeah,
peers that we would be talking about in there. She blew up 2017 with Pretty Girl,
2018, I think. Yeah.
and I think the thing that stood out to people then was, uh, I think it's surprisingly catchy and good soft indie song mixed with a music video that felt very Gen Z. I think
Hmm.
if you watch it, it's her just sitting in front of a computer, laptop
Yeah.
camera,
DIY.
making, yeah, it's very lo-fi the video, and
Almost Maggie Rogers esque, right, in terms of the
yeah,
origin story.
yeah, exactly. Uh, we did not review her first album, but this is her second one, Sling, and I think there's some moments on here, but it's long, especially for a Gen Z album, and I found a lot of it to feel a bit redundant and just too meandering for me.
Yeah.
You felt the same?
Yeah, it's. I mean, look at her. Look at her Spotify. Healthy listening total. A lot
Mhm.
of big tracks. Most of them are older from that first album, Immunity, and the debut EP, Diary 001. And songs like you mentioned Pretty Girl, the blow up song, but also other ones like Flaming Hot Cheetos, Hello, Sophia. It's got some big
Yeah.
tracks. I think you listen to those songs, which have clearly been accepted as her highlights to date, and it's like a really light, breezy vocals, right? It's like really chill indie pop music. Definitely not indie rock. It's just light indie pop stuff. And on the second album, Sling, notably, brought in Jack Antonoff, who notably uh, brought the biggest pop star to the woods last year. And it's actually what he did with Clairo as well. Clairo recorded this in upstate New York in the mountains, and it's
Yeah.
some chill folk stuff. And she managed to get even lighter and softer. I'm kind of surprised. Like,
You didn't think she could do it, but she did. I mean, I think it's still a pretty impressive album for someone who's she's what 23, and this is her second
22.
like
Mhm.
real album.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Um, you know, Songs like Bags or um, Softly. If you're talking about Softly really stands out to me. Actually, those might be off the last album. I'm sorry. Um,
There.
I was thinking more about Blouse,
Yes.
which stood
Lord
out to me.
backing vocals.
Yes. Which if you're gonna get Lord to sing backing vocals, that's quite the sign off.
Mhm.
But Blouse really stands out to me, those backing vocals, but just the way that they harmonize together, I thought was pretty impressive. What are other tracks that stood out to you?
Yeah, I had two that stood out to me just because they kind of changed the energy a little bit for the album because I don't think Clairo's oh, not the strongest vocalist, or at least she doesn't leave like a really like in your face vocal impression anyway. Like I said, it's light, it's laid back. So
Mhm.
a song like Amoeba, the keys, the snare, really noticeable, kind of picks up the track. Later on, Zinnius, that acoustic strumming with those drums, again, kind of just picks up the energy just a little bit because I feel like uh, other tracks on Sling, they can just kind of blend together because vocally it's not a showy performance. So
Mhm.
it's either got to really be your vibe or you might just kind of fade in and out with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's funny. I was thinking about your point about Antonoff and Taylor Swift, and I think also getting Solar Power from Lord as that first single. Antonoff being such a force, especially within the female pop star realm right now, it seems like a lot of his focus is on going softer and blending that with his like usual like 80s rock type trappings of his production.
Hmm.
And it just feels like it's moving pop music into this very like laid back, almost like chill hop direction that is becoming to me a little bit boring. I don't know how you feel about like Antonoff at this point, but if we were talking about this, what, 2 years ago, or was it last year with Norman fucking Rockwell even? Was that
And
2 years ago? I don't
2019.
know. Yeah, it we would I would have told you were lying if you told me that this is the direction it would have gone in. But it really seems like even with his own music, a couple of the singles we've heard, like he's really just going this toned down direction. And I want to see him try to get back to a little bit more of that like green light, like
Mm.
uh just like more upbeat stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. I guess the one thing I would just counter with is perhaps this is just product of the pandemic. Clairo
True.
recorded most of this at that studio, but she was quarantining with her family for most of last year, right?
Hmm.
Taylor quarantining. Lord couldn't leave her home country, quarantining with the rest of us, right? Like I think we need to see a longer stretch of time before like it's like a noted like specific trend, right? And
Hmm.
kind of brings me to my criticisms of Taylor Swift re-recording her material, not because there's anything wrong with that, but just because it's slowing down getting the next new Taylor album, so we actually know what direction Taylor's going in. Because I can't imagine we're getting another folk album after Folklore and Evermore, right? Clairo, she has always been light and slow and chill, so it doesn't surprise me as much getting it from her, right? And I guess
Right.
bringing Jack Antonoff in, especially at this time, a great call, you know?
Oh, for her, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just hoping it doesn't keep going that direction. Claro as a like Gen Z type artist. I mean, you mentioned some of the hits on Spotify here. Uh, we're talking like close to 300 million views or plays for Sophia. A couple others over 200, a bunch over 100. I mean, she does pretty good numbers. Going to be interesting to see the space she has carved out for herself in this like uh, music world moving forward, because it seems like she's got a lot of attention. Um, Maybe this is just like a new like Joni Mitchell for her age or something like that.
Yeah, that's who she cites as an influence anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's
Not
the thing too.
surprised.
It's like she doesn't really have a direct peer as much, right? She's a lot younger than Lord, definitely a lot
Mhm,
younger than Taylor. I guess Maggie Rogers is similar to her age, but Maggie Rogers definitely makes more lively music.
mhm,
So I'm not sure who the direct like comparison even should be at this point. Like she was featured on the Charlie XCX album Charlie from 2019, but
mhm.
obviously they're very different artists. Like I can't really, I'm not really sure who her direct peer would be.
Sure, it will come to me after we're done recording. So
Right.
I'll make sure to throw that in there or tweet about it if I think of it.